14-year-old boy shoved his little sister during a fight over a Roblox account. Her arm broke in 2 places. But the worst part of this story did not happen at the hospital. It happened 3 days later. This story was shared anonymously by a teenager we will call Nathan. He was 14 and his little sister was 12. They shared a small house with their parents, and more importantly, they shared a single family computer. The computer sat in the corner of the living room, and it was the only device in the house powerful enough to run Roblox smoothly. Their parents had rules. Nathan got the computer Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays after school. His sister, whose nickname in the story is Claire, got it Tuesdays, Thursdays, and weekends. It sounded fair on paper, but nothing about the situation was actually fair. Nathan had been building his Roblox account for 4 years. He had saved up for rare items, grinded through events, traded with players from all over the world. His account had a collection worth hundreds of hours of work. Claire, on the other hand, had a brand new account she had made 3 months ago. She mostly played Adopt Me and Brookhaven with her school friends. Claire did not really understand what Nathan had. She knew he got serious when he played. She knew he did not like being interrupted, but she did not understand why. To her, Roblox was just a fun thing to do after homework. To Nathan, Roblox was the thing that had gotten him through some of the hardest years of his life. His parents had gone through a rough patch when he was 11. The house had been loud, the computer had been quiet. Roblox had been his escape. None of this had ever been explained to Claire. Nathan did not talk about feelings. He was the kind of kid who kept everything inside and expressed it through short answers and closed doors. Their parents thought the sibling tension was normal. They did not see how much weight Nathan was putting on those pixels. One Friday afternoon, Nathan came home from school in a bad mood. A test had gone wrong, a group chat had gotten ugly. He wanted to sit down, put his headphones on, and play for 2 hours before dinner. He walked into the living room and saw Claire already at the computer. It was his day. She knew it was his day. But she was there anyway, playing on his account. Claire had forgotten her own account password. She had been locked out for a few days and had not bothered to reset it yet. She figured she would just use Nathan's account for an hour, catch up with her friends in Adopt Me, and log out before he got home. She did not mean any harm. She was 12. She was bored. She thought she would be done before anyone noticed. Nathan walked in and asked her what she was doing. Calmly, at first. Claire looked up, smiled, and said she was just playing for a bit. Nathan told her to log off. Claire said she would in 10 minutes. Nathan said now. The tone in the room changed fast. Claire tried to ignore him. She kept playing. Nathan repeated himself, louder. Claire got annoyed and told him to stop being so dramatic, that it was just a game. That was the exact wrong thing to say. To Nathan, those words felt like a punch in the chest. It was not just a game to him. It had never been. He walked over to the keyboard and reached for the mouse to close the browser. Claire blocked his hand. They both grabbed for the mouse. It was a short, stupid tug of war, the kind that happens between siblings 100 times a week in every house. But this time, something else happened. While they were both grabbing for the mouse, Claire's fingers slipped on the trackpad. She clicked something she did not mean to click. And in 3 seconds, the screen showed a confirmation that made Nathan go completely still. He was not angry anymore. He was something worse. And Claire did not understand yet what she had just done. Claire had accidentally clicked into the account settings. Then she had clicked a button she thought would close the menu. Instead, it was the button to delete the account. A warning popped up. She clicked past it, trying to get out of the menu. The account deletion was confirmed with a single click on a dialogue she barely looked at. 4 years of Nathan's collection, every rare item, every traded piece, every event reward, every friend list. Gone. Just like that. Nathan stared at the screen for maybe 5 seconds without saying anything. Claire was still holding the mouse, confused about what had happened. She asked him what was wrong. He did not answer. Then she saw the screen, saw the words "account deleted," and her face went white. Claire started apologizing immediately. She said it was an accident. She said she did not know. She said it a dozen times in a row. Nathan was not hearing any of it. His brain was not processing words. He was processing loss. A very specific, very deep kind of loss that adults might have an easier time naming. He was a 14-year-old boy who had just watched something he cared about vanish in front of him because of someone else's carelessness. He told Claire to get up from the chair. Claire did not move. She was trying to log back in, trying to see if there was some way to undo it. Nathan told her louder to get up. His voice was shaking now. Claire stood up, but would not move away from the computer. She kept saying she could fix it, that she would find a way, that she would pay for it, anything. Nathan shoved her. It was not a punch. It was not a hit. It was a push to get her out of the way so he could sit down at the keyboard. But Claire was standing right in front of a wooden coffee table, and she had no time to catch her balance. She went backwards. Her right arm caught the corner of the table as she fell. They both heard the sound. It was not loud. It was a small, wrong sound. The kind of sound you never want to hear come from a person you love. Claire did not scream at first. She looked at her arm and then at Nathan. Her face went pale in a way that made Nathan forget why he was angry. She tried to stand up and then sat back down on the floor because her arm was not working. Then she started crying. Not the normal kind, the quiet kind that comes from shock, not from tears. Nathan froze. All of the rage left him in an instant. He knelt down next to her. He said her name. She did not answer. He saw the way her arm was bent, and he knew, without knowing anything about medicine, that something was wrong. Their mother walked through the front door 20 seconds later. She saw her daughter on the floor. She saw her son kneeling over her. She saw the computer screen and the account deletion message still glowing. She would not fully understand what happened until much later that night in a hospital waiting room. But in that moment, she did something that Nathan would replay in his head for years. She did not scream at him. She looked at him once and told him to call an ambulance. And the look in her eyes told him everything he needed to know. Nathan called. His voice was barely working. The operator stayed on the phone with him until help arrived. Claire kept quietly crying the whole time. Nathan sat on the floor next to her, not touching her, not speaking, just there. At the hospital, the doctors told the family that Claire's arm was broken in 2 places, a clean break in the forearm and a smaller fracture near the wrist. She would need a cast for 6 weeks and physical therapy after that. She would heal fully. She was lucky. The doctor used that word, lucky. Nathan did not feel lucky. He sat in the plastic chair in the waiting room for 3 hours, unable to look at anyone. Their father arrived from work and did not say a word to him. Their mother came out to check on him but did not touch him. She told him Claire was going to be okay, and she walked back inside. That was it. Nathan expected yelling. He expected punishment. He expected to be told he was a monster. He got silence instead. And silence was somehow worse than any of the alternatives. When they took Claire home that night, she had a bright blue cast on her arm, and she was exhausted from the pain medication. She fell asleep in the car. Nathan carried her backpack up to her room. He stood in her doorway for a long time looking at her, and then he went to his own room and closed the door. He did not sleep. He stayed up staring at the ceiling, replaying the 5-second tug-of-war over and over. He thought about how stupid it had been. He thought about how easily it could have been worse. He thought about how his sister had fallen and the sound her arm had made. He thought about what his mother's face had looked like when she walked through the door. For the next 3 days, nobody in the family really talked. His parents were polite but cold. Claire was tired and drugged and mostly stayed in bed. Nathan made her food. He brought her water. He set up her tablet so she could watch shows. He did everything he could think of to apologize without actually saying the word, because saying the word felt too small for what he had done. On the 3rd night, Nathan walked past Claire's bedroom and heard something he was not supposed to hear. His sister was on the phone with one of her friends, talking quietly in the dark. and what she said about him in that conversation would change everything about how he saw himself for the rest of his life. Claire was telling her friend what happened. Not the version where Nathan was a villain. Not the version where her brother was a monster who had hurt her. She told her friend, quietly, that she felt terrible because she had broken her brother's account. She said she knew it was stupid, that it was just a game, that her arm would heal, but that she had taken something from him that he could not get back. She said Nathan had been trying to tell her for years how much Roblox meant to him, and she had never listened. She said the scariest part of the whole thing was not falling. It was seeing her brother's face when he realized what was gone. Nathan stood frozen in the hallway outside her door. He did not breathe for a long time. He had spent 3 days preparing himself to be the villain in this story, and his 12-year-old sister, sitting in her bed with a broken arm that he had caused, was defending him to her friends. He went back to his room. He sat on the edge of his bed, and for the first time since the whole thing happened, he actually cried. Not because of the account, not because of the silence from his parents, but because his little sister was a better person than he had been willing to admit, and she was handling the whole situation with more grace than he deserved. The next morning, Nathan walked into Claire's room before school. He sat on the edge of her bed. He told her he was sorry. Not for the argument, for the push, for not controlling himself, for letting something as small as a game matter more than she did. He told her the account did not matter. He told her she did. Claire told him she knew. She told him she forgave him before they even got to the hospital. She told him she was more worried about him than about her arm. Their parents heard them talking from the hallway. Their father came in, and for the first time in 4 days, he sat down next to Nathan and put a hand on his shoulder. Their mother made breakfast for all of them. They ate together for the first time since it happened. Nathan did not get his Roblox account back. He tried. He submitted a support request. He explained what happened. But the account had been permanently deleted, and the platform could not restore it. It was gone. He eventually made a new one. He built it slower this time. He did not put his entire self into it. He also started talking, actually talking, to his parents, to his sister, about the things he had been carrying for years. He said the weirdest lesson he learned from the whole incident was not about anger control, or siblings, or boundaries. It was that he had been using a game to avoid his own life. And the second that game was gone, he had no choice but to look at his life for what it was. And it turned out, his life was not as broken as he thought it was. Claire's arm healed in 6 weeks. The cast came off. Her brother was the first person to sign it before it was cut away. Here is my question for you. Have you ever hurt someone you love over something that turned out to matter a lot less than you thought? Drop your story in the comments. I will heart the realest ones. Hey, if this story hit home for you, I get it. A lot of us have been there. Maybe not with a broken arm, but with that feeling of losing yourself in a game and letting it become too big. Send this video to someone who plays Roblox with a sibling. Subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next one. Take care of the people in your house first. Everything else can be rebuilt.